This is definitely the first time we're recording. Welcome to Apple One to One. We are back here for the podcast episode because I forgot to hit record. So we literally talked for like 20 minutes and not a word of it is going to be available. But I want you to subscribe and like us. Thank you very much for joining us here on our YouTube channel and on our podcast platform. We are former Apple employees, 20 years experience. I am Will, TLD, the former Apple Specialist Creative. Along with me every time that I'm here is the former Apple Creative, retired book publisher, soccer mom recorder, the Jurassic Park owner, the black coffee drinker, juror number 12, retirement home president, the keto trout drummer, Mr. Frank Funk for the second time.
Hey, how you doing, Will? Things going well, I see, right?
I've obviously, because we haven't done enough podcast episodes and I haven't drinking enough Zevia, not sponsored, of course, I forgot to record the first 20 minutes of this episode. It's a good thing I looked in the middle and not at the end, because then we would have to do this again. So anyway, we are happy to be here, guys. Thank you very much for our patience for not having an episode. To be honest, I don't know if you all watch this episode and care, but we like you very much. Please enjoy all the training videos that we have been providing over the last few months. We thank you for the feedback, the questions that you are giving us. Please ask them. We respond to every single comment that you guys write up. Frank sometimes writes in there. I write in there. We want to give you a lot of great training content. And now with everything that was announced today, we have a lot more videos to do.
A lot of stuff. Big day for Apple. Mm-hmm. Big day.
That's right. The Mac Pro finally has an M1 chip. So now it is complete. Thank you for joining us for the episode. No, I'm joking. We're going to have a lot more to talk about. All right. So let's dive into the hardware first, because we're going to go in the order that they announced everything. So we're going to talk about the MacBook Air Studio and the Mac Pro Mac, whatever you want to call it, whatever. The thing that no one's going to buy, the Mac Pro. Let's talk about the 15-inch MacBook Air.
All right. So
big
15-inch MacBook Air. You got
a big fan of it.
3.3 pounds, right? 4 colors, 1080p camera, 6 speakers, M2 chip, 17-hour battery, twice as fast, and twice the battery life of any PC in that market out there.
Yeah, but by the way, when they kept doing that, that was annoying me because they didn't mention which PC it was, and I don't know what they're talking. True. Like, how many? They got every single laptop that's a PC, and they said this is more powerful than that. Like that PC. What PC were they talking about?
It was probably the Gateway.
Oh, that one. Oh.
Yeah.
That was bought at Circuit City, right? Recently.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
So, yeah, that was kind of stupid. But bottom line is that they have a 15-inch for the same price, by the way, that last year's model was. They discounted that down to $100. So now we have a $999, a $1099, and a $1299 for a 15-inch, Mac at $1299. That has never happened. When was the last time you saw a 15-inch Mac at $1299? Because you're not going to find one.
Never.
This is the first time it's
maybe
at that
in the
price
used market.
Well, that's different. But for this amount of money, it's a no-brainer to buy that MacBook Air. That is the perfect first computer. And I would, for $100, you might as well just get the 15-inch.
Well, I priced out the MacBook Air 13, 16 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte, comes in at $17.99. The 15-inch, same specs, $18.99.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely something that if you need that portability,
that's the one to go with. Absolutely. And then the Mac Studio got upgraded from an M1 Ultra and a Max to an M2 Ultra and a Max. So they really, that's really it. Everything else, as far as the design of it, stayed the same, which is fine because the Mac Studio is a brand new machine. It's a great machine. I wish I had a reason to get one, but having this 16-inch in my house, along with my Thunderbolt display, which I absolutely love, I absolutely love it. What's this one priced out at? If you were to go all the way, the Studio.
Oh.
You don't have it. Okay. All right. Well, don't worry. I got it for you. Don't worry about it, everybody. I have right here. It's at $8,799. If you would like to max this out with 8 terabytes terabytes of SSD, 192 gigs. Who needs 192 gigs?
Yeah, I don't. Somebody
needs it.
Why did they come up with that number? I mean, they could have stopped at that half of that, right?
Yeah,
So somebody somewhere had to have that requirement.
I am waiting for someone to build, that out with the highest specs, and then export a project or create a project and see how good it is.
Well, they're touting this for professional filmmakers, and maybe somewhere along the line they need that kind of horsepower. I don't know.
Yep. It's available if you want it.
Can you use
I'm a wedding videographer, though. I mean, I'm at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to video making. Okay, so let's go. YouTube people get more respect than I do. Okay, so that's the truth.
Well, you're a YouTube video person.
We are. That's why we create the great content here on our YouTube channel at Apple One to One. You better be subscribing. Let's now talk about the Mac Pro. Now, I spec this out because the Mac Pro has the same M2 Ultra built into it, which means the price the specs are exactly the same as the Studio. So that means for $3,000, what you're getting in return for that is this big cheese grater design with PCI slots, which is the same as the previous model. They just stuck.
Well, you're paying for the cabinet. All that recycled aluminum costs.
That's true, and they assemble it here, apparently in California. So
yes,
let's talk about that. So the purpose of this Mac is, for only reason to buy this, is because you want to expand with the PCI slots, and that is it. There is no other reason to buy this Mac.
It is for a specific niche market. There's no doubt about it.
Did Apple try? Do you think Apple tried?
Tried to what?
They tried to make something like they just wanted to make everything silicon, right? Now, no, there's no more Intel anymore. There's no more Intel Macs.
Well, so I think they had the decision to either expand the Pro or get rid of it. And I don't think they're ready to get rid of it yet.
Right. And that's what the result is this. I would say maybe a lazy attempt of providing you with a expandable machine. But I think what people really want is be able to take more Apple Silicon and kind of play around with the Apple Silicon, combine Apple Silicon,
What I think people want is the quality and the integrity of an Apple product, and then they want to open it up and do whatever they want with it. Okay, and then when something goes wrong, they want to go back to Apple and say, "Hey, you got to fix this." And Apple's going to say, "No, that's not how it works." Right.
Well, the only thing Apple is providing is extra SSD storage. You are allowed to buy that and put that in the machine itself. So, but
that
Apple
comes at a price tag, though.
Everything comes at a price tag. I mean, we didn't even get to the end of this yet, so we're going to get to that. But yeah, it's. I mean, it's great that they finally made the transition. There was no point of paying $54,000 for a Mac Pro with all that Intel crap when you have a nice chip built into it that's only costs $12,000 right now. That's a humongous price difference. I mean, think about it. Remember, Afterburner, that's not built into the chip when it was a separate piece of hardware. All the different types of GPUs you could have put in. You don't need that anymore. You already got it built into the chip.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're kind of overlooking, I mean, we're mentioning it, but we're kind of just moving on afterwards, is that the power of the Apple chips really is incredible.
I agree.
It's hard to comprehend what they're doing in one chip and the power on that chip. That's, I mean,
I think people have just gotten to the point now where they're just so, if you have the M1 experience, it's like you're in now, and it's like you're not going to be impressed with anything else because you already are impressed with what you got. You're trying to find a reason to buy more, and you just can't. Right now. I mean, you just got a Studio. I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I have no reason to upgrade this anytime soon. So
Well, I think these purchases, the longevity of the studio that I have with the M1, the equipment you have, I do believe the life expectancy of those machines are longer than they used to be, which I kind of.
We're going to see in a couple of years, though, how long Apple Silicon really lasts. How long do these not have a power issue, and how long do they not have a quality program? Because quality programs, I can't imagine there's not going to be one for some specific reason out there. But let's go past the Mac Pro now. Let's talk about iOS 17, iPadOS, watchOS. We're going to just kind of combine all these things together. What was a more impressive thing that you liked out of all the OSs that they announced today? We'll keep macOS a little separate.
All right.
What would you say was the most impressive thing?
Well, I don't know about the most impressive, but the things I liked about them was personalized contact posters. I thought that was pretty intriguing.
Got to put some work into those because you got to customize each one of them. There is some work that's got to go into them. So I just want to point that out.
The live voicemail. I love the transcription, the live transcription. I think that's very useful.
And that does include FaceTime as well with audio and video. So you can leave video voicemails now. You can leave audio voicemails now. Even if you do a FaceTime call, because I do FaceTime calls. So I love it.
Yeah, I think it's great. You can leave that's nice, where you can leave an actual video as a message. That's pretty cool. In the message app, they had some neat features where you hit this up arrow, will take you back to the top message.
That you haven't read yet.
That's pretty good.
You love your live stickers, man. I know you want to take a picture of me.
The stickers.
And then copy and put me on messages. I'm waiting for you to do that.
Yeah.
And then the journal app, for those who absolutely need to write stuff down, I think this is, a great feature to have. The AirDrop features are going to be cool too.
Yeah, and how you can create those stickers from pictures.
Yeah,
just how you used to, you tap on the picture and hold it, and it'll take that image out of the picture, and you can just automatically slide it up, and make it a sticker. It's pretty cool. Also, the check-in feature is nice. How often do you ask somebody, hey, when you get home, send me a text, make sure you get home all right? Well, now there's a feature where you can start that when you leave one location. When you get to another location, it'll automatically send it. Yeah. So I think that's a nice feature.
One thing I'm really happy they brought back on the watch specifically, Watch 10 definitely got a nice little facelift. And the fact that they now have the Smart Stack back with the digital crown, because right now when I use my watch and I scroll, it doesn't do anything. Like, it just stays there. Now it has the ability to change faces based on what you're doing. I like that. They came out with 2 new ones. They did a lot of workout with cycling, hiking. Maps now will even like pinpoint your last cellular spot, that's pretty cool. So they added some good things in there that will be very helpful.
Yeah, they integrated the compass a little more into a couple of apps in hiking and whatever. I mean, those are pretty nice.
The compatibility also, the Apple Watch, I was a little worried about this because I still have a Series 4. It's still compatible, which I'm happy to hear that I could still use it. So, because I was getting to the point where I thought maybe Apple might drop it, but they didn't. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, well, aren't you going to get your Ultra?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to justify it. I might have to save up for something else.
You gotta put some pressure on Luke, man. Father's Day is coming.
He already bought me a belt last year. I think we're good on that. But iPadOS, by the way, the fill in the PDF thing, it's about time they have that. That I was happy to see that. That's going to be very useful.
Yes.
Even the another iOS feature where anybody that's recorded audio, you can see the transcribe of that, which is nice.
Yes, transcription.
Oh, and then go ahead.
I was just going to say, we should probably do a video on how to save signatures so that when you bring in a PDF, you can just bring in your signature from your iPad or your phone and just drop it right in.
All right, good. They have something to make this week.
Yeah, there you go.
One of my other favorite features, FaceTime. Big changes with FaceTime, along with the things we already talked about, but going to the Apple TV with FaceTime. That to me is amazing.
Yeah.
If we can't get a device that can already do it, you have to put your iPad or your iPhone away from you,
Yep.
so that way you can do the call the way you want to do it with the Apple TV. But it just shows like what they could create. Imagine Apple creating like the sound bar that just goes above your television, and it can have the HomePod feature. It can have the camera built into it. How cool would that be? Right now, you got to use your phone or your iPad, but you have to get used to it.
Yeah, but using your phone, I mean, it's an awesome camera. Why not? And if it's just as easy as you saw how they had it on a charging adapter, and then just boom, there you are. And everybody's on the big screen.
This is another simple one too. Sharing your password with trusted contacts. That's going to be great. I think that's there are definitely things that we share that we would absolutely be much easier to do.
Have you done anything with the pass keys?
No.
They made a distinction between password and pass keys. So I have to look more into the pass keys. I also like the fact that in Safari, you can set up profiles. You can have one for school, one for work.
That's great for
personal.
Me. That is so great for me because I like using Safari over Chrome any day. But because of it, I don't want to interact with my stuff. I use a separate, app for that.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I would agree. Like we could have a separate setup for our one-to-one, Apple one-to-one setup, and one for personal. So depending upon what we want to do, we could get into Safari with one profile or the other, and they wouldn't necessarily interfere with each other.
Yep. Let's talk about the new macOS 14, I believe it's going to be the number. And of course, they built up the naming convention like they always do. And macOS Sonoma. I was like, okay, I kind of dig it. Yeah. I was really liking Ventura only because of Ace Ventura. That was the only reason why I liked it so much.
I thought they were going to just do Napa Valley. So
that's what I thought originally first. I thought they were going to do macOS Napa, which that's probably next year now that we've said it. Thank you, Apple. You can take that one. But the widgets coming on the main screen. I can tell you right now, my desktop on the left, like the left side here, I have nothing there. And the idea of these being there when you first launch, and on top of it, kind of fading in the background as you move apps around, love that. I am so happy that widgets are coming.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, you go to the side and you click it, it's so useless to me. Being over there where it just disappears. And you remember back in the day when Apple first had, when the macOS Leopard came out, they had those widgets. Right. That was a separate screen, which was so cool to have. And then they got rid of it. Yep. So I'm really happy about this.
I think I have to get more into using it. I got so used to I don't really need the widgets. You know what I mean? But now if you can have them on your homepage, let's say, and they fade in and out based on whether they're active or inactive. And if you're a person that likes to change your background periodically, they will become translucent to that background. So that's a pretty cool feature.
You're talking about the video
conferencing overlays.
Cool. That is
I like that.
So cool. And you don't need anything special for that. It's Apple Silicon running it. I think you have to have Apple Silicon for it to work, but it is really neat to have your presentation separated from the background. I don't know how they do that, but that is really neat.
We'll have to try that. Because you can superimpose our wonderful faces on a presentation. We can just point and direct and say, hey, over here, over there. Yeah. So,
and then they're also doing, game mode is coming to macOS Sonoma, and apparently what they're able to do is that they're able to come out with a kit that is going to allow games that are already made for Xbox and PlayStation to port over to Mac. So I'm really curious if this is going to be something people will do or not. So obviously the rule is going to be you're going to have your stuff on the Mac App Store for this to be a thing. But I would be very curious if gaming is going to be a big deal.
I bought my grandson Xbox. Harry Potter. What's the school name?
I don't know. I don't watch.
I don't know. But anyway, the Legends of the whatever the school is. He loves that game. He plays.
I know Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's the game I know of. But go ahead.
But
you had a point. You had a point there. No. Okay.
Well, the point there is that if he can transport that to a Mac, I think he would. That would be interesting. But we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because then no matter what games you have, if you can play it on a Mac based machine, that's going to be nice.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. The main event. This is the one more thing that has not been around in
since
the Apple Watch. I don't know about Apple Silicon. Did they do the one? I don't think they did that with Apple Silicon, but which I think deserved a one more thing. But this was the biggest announcement since Apple Silicon.
Yes.
And here we are, the new Vision Pro.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. You're going to have to go watch the video to see everything. I don't think talking about the specs of it is going to be important here. To talk about number one,
go ahead.
Are you going to buy this product for $30,499? Go.
Oh, it's not $30,000. It's $39.99, $3,000.
No, it's not. Try again. It's $3,499 for this product.
All right.
I'm telling you right now. Are you going to buy it? Yes or no? You're rich.
I have.
You have no job.
All right. Let me answer that this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the politician in me. Here's how I'll answer that. Based on the presentation, it appears as though it's worth every penny. Now, why I say that is this. When you put those glasses on, you can actually see through them. They're not blocking your vision of whatever room you're in.
That's correct.
And with your eyes and the clicking of your thumb and finger, you can activate apps, move them around. So
your eyes can move.
Yes. And the thing that really impressed me was I'm like, this is what they call spatial computerization. I mean, this is you can change your room background to be a mountain.
Yeah.
Or an outside scene. And I mean, you have to watch that section of the presentation to really look at this and go, wow. I mean,
they gave you 40 minutes of a whole bunch of stuff, and especially the tech behind it too, which how many patents do they have?
Well, the fact that you can have all, what's that?
How many patents do they have? As many patents as it costs. As much as it costs to buy that product. It's $1 a patent.
It's almost $1 a patent.
It's almost $1 a patent, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but listen, it's got 23 million pixels per eye.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, they showed a panoramic photo that somebody took that was, I mean, you remember when you used to go to, I guess, Disney, where you would stand in this room and you would get a whole 360 display? That's what it's like. That's what it's like. And the fact that you can have all of your Mac apps on there or access to them.
And it doesn't rely on a phone. Let's make that point clear. A lot of people thought the phone had to do.
Somewhere along the line, I have to assume you're logging in with your Apple ID and password, and it's probably imperative that you're using your iCloud Drive. You're accessing all of the apps, all of your files from the iCloud Drive. And to me, that's exciting because you can take this headset anywhere.
Yep.
Connect to any network and boom, you're there. And you can interact with the actual people that are around you. When you're doing FaceTime, it creates. I thought that was pretty cool. It creates what they call the persona that looks like you.
Yeah.
It's like an avatar.
Yeah.
Right. But it looks like you.
Right. Well, I think the idea of the eyes coming through on the screen, even though it's not really your eyes, because technically they can't see through you, but it projects a image of your eyes exactly the way they are. That's really freaky. I've never seen that ever. You know,
I'm telling you. You ask me if I'm going to buy it. There are a lot of things in there that say to me, you know what? That's to me, that's the computer of the future. Like, just put it on and go wherever you want to go. Now, the downside, I was disappointed that you only had 2 hours of battery life.
That is a real big disappointment. Yes. I mean, Apple will have to provide you a extremely long cord if you need to plug this in, like a long cord. Like, I'm talking if Apple really wants us to make us feel comfortable with this thing, you need to give us like a 25-foot cord, which they're probably going to give you like a 10-foot cord.
Or, have a separate device that's, maybe a little heavier with bigger battery. Take the MacBook Air, right?
That battery does look small. I mean, that battery does look like a smaller. I'm surprised they just want to come out with a bigger battery. They might. Well,
that's what I'm saying. If you come out with like a 3-pound battery clipped to your belt, like the Air, and you get 17 hours of battery power, I mean, And
you have to decide: do you rather have the weight in your head or the weight in your pocket? And that's and obviously, if you're home, you don't have to do that. You're supposed to just be able to plug it in where you are. But they would have this has to be a really long cord for it to really work.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, the way they were describing the sound, it's totally immersive. I'm going to
give you the perfect scenario where I think I would like to have this. Number one, outside. If I want to watch, I have a projector, right? That I would throw my stuff out there. If I have the ability to go outside and watch something outside, I could make the screen as big as I want. I could at least feel the outside near me and have like a big projector of that. That to me is cool. I love the entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You don't have to go outside to do that. Yeah,
but I want to feel the air. I'm talking about just being outside in general. Just
get a couple of big fans to blow on you. You know what I mean?
Not the same thing. I want to be outside like I would have my own projector. The idea of this taking over that would be great. Here's the problem. If someone is right next to you and they obviously can't see that if they don't have one. So it's almost like both of you have to have it. It's going to make date nights kind of tough. You can't do this. They projected that you could talk to someone else in the same room. That is going to be really, really difficult to do, I think. This is great if you're by yourself, you want to watch your own TV shows. I think this is great for that. But if you're going to if you're living with somebody, you kind of got to go off on your own and kind of do this thing. It's really hard to have that conversation with somebody.
But wait a minute, Will. How many times have you been in a room or out to dinner with somebody, right? And everybody's sitting at the restaurant or the dinner table or in your living room. Some people are watching the TV. Some people are playing on their phones. That's the way society is today. It's not like, okay, you have one TV. When you were a kid, you watched the family TV and you watched whatever show your father wanted to watch. Okay? Now, you don't like what's on the TV, everybody's on their phone doing their own thing. Same kind of deal. But I like the intriguing thing for me is the fact that you can have all of your Mac apps up. I should say this. I hated this part of it. They also said, by the way, you can have your Microsoft Office apps. I wish they would stop that. I wish they would.
No, they're going to have, for business reasons, they're definitely going to have to have.
Yeah, but anyway. So anyway, you can have all your Mac apps, your photos, your calendars, your
Mickey Mouse's,
mail, everything right there. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, just think of it. If I had one of those, we could be doing this podcast and I could have my headset on and I could be wherever.
I think Zoom is part of this.
Yeah, Zoom is part of it. Yeah.
And then
and Zoom.
I mean, they also, by the way, they also did create the R1 chip out of this, which is designed to process input from all the cameras and sensors. Like you're supposed to be naturally sitting down, and that we could just move our hands and move around without, obviously with the Quest you have controllers, stuff like that.
Because
I was looking at Twitter regarding
see through the goggles,
right?
It doesn't. It's not like the Oculus where it's solid and you can't see through it. You're actually looking through it, and it's projecting or appear to be projecting the apps and whatever out in front of you, and you just. I can't wait to try it. I just can't wait. So would I buy it? Yeah, I'm on board, man. I'm on board. I mean, it's, let's face it, it's another toy.
Mm-hmm.
And for a guy like me that, what do you get the guy that has everything? Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah. So Marquez, who's like the big YouTube guy, he spent 30 minutes in the Apple Vision Pro headset. And he said he's very impressed with a lot of things about it. So I think from a technology standpoint, this is a breakthrough product.
Yes.
A breakthrough product.
Yeah, it is.
Is it going to be able to, can you justify it for $34.99 plus tax? Which, by the way, gives you about $110 back using your Apple card. So,
hey, I mentioned this to somebody. I said, maybe you don't, but I do. The IBM used to have a commercial where the guy had a pair of glasses on, similar to mine, and he was sitting in Italy in a plaza with a fountain out in front of him and pigeons in the courtyard there, and he was pointing his finger, looking at apps and things projected out in front of him. And he said something and he scared the pigeons and they flew. This is what that commercial depicted. Mm-hmm. This is the computing of the future. Mm-hmm. It's just from that headset, who knows if it can go on a regular pair of glasses or something, I mean, that headset's only going to get better and better as time goes on.
So when the Apple Watch came out, I remember that it took us till the next year, about the same time frame that they're telling us that this is going to be coming out. And if you remember the Apple Watch, the first generation just wasn't as successful. I think that they, especially the way we were promoting it as a jewelry product more than a health and fitness product. Yeah. And don't forget they had the gold one. Right? Yeah, they made a lot. I think they made a lot of mistakes with that watch in the beginning, but it turned around. And I think this is no different. But I definitely think the only way this works is that Apple needs to put this in stores immediately, and you need to test this in the store before it comes out.
Yeah,
you have to do this before it comes out. I think they mentioned that, but I'm not sure. But
it's almost like you have to schedule playtime with it in stores.
Mm-hmm.
And
I bet you watch that line. That line's going to be long. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You're only getting one in the Apple Freelo store, which by the way got a remodel. About time. Did you go to the store? I have not been there. I gotta go. We should just do a video.
I haven't been there either.
Yeah. Go look at our old store has remodeled to a brand new store. But yeah, you have to go see this live. I think the idea of being like an NBA game like that, or the ESPN idea, the Disney things they were showing. There are definitely reasons to take a look at this. I honestly, they're not going to make that many, but I think they're going to sell all of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's almost like they're going to make them to order.
Right.
Because you don't want to have a lot of overstock on these.
No. And by the way, you better get Apple Care Plus for that thing, because I swear to God, if something happens to that thing, especially that glass, that thing will crack once it hits the floor. If you do it wrong.
But I'm telling you, Will, I saw all of those apps and how you can just you can be at your office in your home, or you can be in your office
I think the
looking at
idea of
what's
me
going on at your
working
home.
and then my messages being here, like there is definitely reasons that it works. Is it a necessary product? No. Is it
No.
the future? 10 years from now, I could see this being good. Right now, I see this as a very niche, not important, but
Well,
a very
think of-
big, a very big breakthrough in technology that I do find that at some point this will eventually work when the price is right. Bob Barker.
Well, here's how I'm looking at the price. Okay, all right. So you're at $3,500
Because you gotta remember, everyone sees Apple headset 30 without understanding anything tech-wise about this product. All they see is Apple headset $3,500. That's it. You don't, without knowing anything else. If you saw that headline and you weren't an Apple fan, you'd be like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but wait. So here's how I'm looking at it. If you bought a Mac Studio, right, and you bought a 32-inch monitor, so you're in for at least that much money, if not maybe a little more. So now you don't need a 32-inch monitor because the whole room, the whole expanse, is your monitor.
Yeah,
it can be. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, your screen is unlimited, and you can size each one of those apps to as big or as small as you want. Yeah. I mean, this is where what I'm saying is you really have to immerse yourself in it, look at what it can do. And if just by clicking your fingers, sizing an app to half the size of your room, and you can bring in like if you're doing furniture, for example, and you want to see furniture in a room, you can add that augmented reality in real time. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, that's pretty crazy. I'm probably going to
this is probably going to be the most returned item that Apple has ever sold, because people are just going to buy it to try it. Yeah, unless Apple charges a restocking fee, which I think Apple used to do that back in the day. I don't know if they're going to do it, because this is a very hard product to resell again. Because it's because of the
that's where I think where we mentioned earlier, if you can set up playtime with this, like during holiday season, and you get people in that are put it on, and you can demo it with them, like that's like, phew, man, you're like, okay, you like it, okay, you want to pre-order,
and don't make it. And remember with the Apple Watch, they didn't really have the OS ready to go. It was kind of like they were just scrolling through things. This thing needs to be 100% ready to go as far as, and they said that all these apps are going to work with it when this launches, but they got to make this, when they demo this in the store, and they better do it before it's released, which I think they're going to do. You need to allow people this experience. What a way to get people to the Apple Store, by the way, too. Not only that, just to buy more stuff. It's a great marketing tool for that.
To prove that but for me to prove that it works, I don't need to see the games. I know the games will come.
Right.
For me, the proof is in the pudding of the apps.
Yes.
Numbers, pages, Keynote, FaceTime, messages, photos, maps. I mean, if that works seamlessly, I'm in. All the other stuff to me is icing on the cake.
Yep.
You get those core products to work, like your portable, like your iPad, like your phone. Dude, you can just walk around with that headset all day long.
Yeah. Well, you can't. You only have 2 hours, so you can't. But
all right,
we'll end it there. So we have about 6 to 8 months before we really see this product, physically in our hands. Right now, we're gonna just look at a lot of I would go check out anybody that was at WWDC, see their videos, their impressions of it. I think it's very important to take a look at. I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback from you guys in the comments, what your thoughts are about it. Yes, it's expensive, but there is a lot of technology in this, I think, that people will not appreciate. So To be honest, you have
Well, the one thing
They
I
won't.
would
But
ask
I
our
already told.
viewers
I saw my wife's reaction. Trust me, she will not appreciate this product, especially if I'm wearing it in the same room with her. I can tell you right now, she will hate this product because there are going to be people who think we're moving further and further away from physical interaction to going into this augmented reality world.
yeah,
And people aren't ready for that.
But well, again, it's like moderation. To me, I would use it for computing purposes, not necessarily for family time.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm looking at it like as a replacement for my computer, where I can just be anywhere, put it on my head, and all my stuff is right there. Okay, and like I said, I think anybody, if you're going to make a comment on this, what I would ask you to do first is go to the keynote, to that section where they show all the stuff that we're talking about, and watch it. Then make your comment, because I don't think our discussion of it has really done it justice. I mean, people will listen to what I say, man, he's a total fanboy. And yeah, I am.
We are. It's called Apple 1-to-1. I mean, that's what our show's about.
But you got to see it. And I think the important thing is going to be at the Apple stores. If you can get in there and try it out, I think it's going to be a big seller.
By the way, I already looked at the YouTube. I already looked at the YouTube video of introducing the Apple Vision Pro. It's already got 3.2 million views in 7 hours on YouTube. So that just shows you a lot of people are very interested in seeing this. But let's. We hope to hear from you guys. Just because the podcast is very short, Greg, we have to cut the time. Okay. We could talk about a lot of this stuff. We could do separate videos about it. But let's just enjoy the day. Go back, watch the keynote, look at other people's videos that were live there. Great stuff. Frank, it was good to doing a podcast again and actually recording it this time. But that's all for today. Thank you guys very much. Like and subscribe. We do appreciate all of you. And I love every single one of you.
Take care.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for viewing our content. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe so you can see all our training videos as well as links to download our podcast.